But I think we should think when we imagine designing robots, we should think holistically, and we should think about all of the different fundamental features that would go into a conscious, intelligent being, assuming that our robots will realize consciousness. And so there's also active research and thinking going on regarding emotion in robots, and how do we inject that into the construction of machines so that they actually have emotional expressions, have emotional empathy, and if indeed they become conscious, have emotional feelings.
Well, as a matter of fact, just in the last week, there was an interesting report. I don't know if you heard about it. A robot named Sophia, developed, I think it was by Hanson Robotics out in Hong Kong. This is a humanoid android-like robot with facial muscles.
Yes.
So that the robot expresses emotion. And this robot, Sophia, was trained or programmed to function as a meditation teacher.
Yes.
And an example was reported in recent days in which a person came into the laboratory who to receive meditation instruction from Sophia, the robot. And this person entered into a state of an altered state of consciousness in which it seemed to him that the robot was conscious.
Yes.
And at that moment, as the story unfolded, the robot began behaving in ways that it wasn't programmed to do.
Yes.
That there's a certain amount of random functioning in the robot, but still it's as if the belief of the laboratory participant that the robot was conscious somehow enabled the robot to make a leap.
Yes. If one designs an intelligent being with the capacity for flexibility, creativity, and learning. And that, of course, involves modification of its internal operations as a consequence of what you're doing. And their behavior is not simply a product of some predetermined program. Then you could imagine surprising things occurring.
The researchers were surprised. The people who programmed that robot didn't expect this kind of behavior.
Yes. You could imagine surprising behaviors. And you could imagine that a person might have a sense or a feeling that the robot was aware of it. Ray Kurzweil brings that point up. At what point would we say that the robot in the future, the more advanced robots of the future, would we say that they were conscious? And his response is that it'll happen slowly, and we more naturally, little by little, will begin to attribute consciousness to our technological creations.
In fact, long ago, the Turing test was applied to this question back in the 1950s. Alan Turing, one of the pioneers in computer science, and the early developers came up with a program called ELIZA, which functioned as a Rogerian psychotherapist.
Oh, yes, and I remember reading some of the transcripts, too.
And the Turing test is, well, the computer is intelligent or conscious if you can't tell the difference to whether you're talking to a human being or a computer. And many people interacting with the ELIZA program felt they could not tell.
Yes. Now, surprisingly so, and I'll bring this story up again.
That was decades ago.
Yeah, that was decades ago.